Welcome everybody, Don Giannatti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. I just recently put up my first lighting diagram kind of class called Shooting a Bottle. And I want to run you through a few things here. Now that it's been up for about a week, I'm going to run you through a few things that I want you to be aware of as you're doing that exercise. So this is part 2 of Shooting a Bottle, all right? First of all, let's pop over there and see what are the bottles looking like at this point. When you're first starting out to shoot this bottle, you're going to start with a black bottle. What I did was I took a bottle of Land Shark beer, soaked the label off. Did it have a label on it? I don't even know if it had a label on it. But anyway, I took the label off, spray painted it black. This is 2 coats of glossy black. Is it perfect? No. Is it close enough for this exercise? Absolutely. It looks pretty clean. Okay, this is straight out of the camera. I did nothing in Lightroom other than cropping, so I don't want you to think that I've fixed anything here. They're not perfect shots by any stretch of the imagination. They're just here to teach us a little bit of lighting, okay? So this is our first shot, and this is the black Land Shark bottle, and this is with the light about in the halfway back farthest from the scrim. Okay, so it's not up close to the scrim, it's about halfway farther back. And so what that does is it gives us a pretty even light. That whole scrim is lighting up. I'm going to show you the scrim setup as well here, so stay tuned. It's all kind of nice and even, but you see how it gets a little bit brighter here? This is that center spot. This is that pro photo behind the scrim. I'm using a plexiglass scrim. I use white plexi for my scrim. So I get this little bit of a high spot here. The cool thing is you can move this high spot where you want it to be. If you're doing this with a softbox, and I'm encouraging you not to because we will do a similar exercise with a softbox. If you're doing it with a softbox, it's going to be even from top to bottom, and you're not going to get this little bit of gradation in here, a little bit of gradation in here. Okay, we're being very sublime with the lighting. Now I did go ahead and move it up closer so I could show you what a hot spot looks like, and it's pretty hot, as you can see. The hot spot is taking over the lighting, and it's not even letting the plexiglass get lit back here because it's so close. The difference, folks, the difference, about that much. That's it, about that much. So you got to be very, very precise where you put your light behind the scrim. It's not just throw it up there and see what happens. It's precision. Shoot deliberately. Make sure you put that high spot where you want it to be. Finally, I moved it back so that it was the farthest distance that I was going to use for the lighting. And now you can see that hot spot is pretty much gone, and the highlight is very, very clean down here. What scrims do is they give us a little bit softer edge here. Do you see that? I'm going to blow it up here. Do you see this little bit softer edge, the transition between the highlight and the or the specular and the non-specular? Well, that's what I tend to like more than softboxes, because softboxes are absolute. They're just, it's lit and it's not. There's an edge to the light. With a scrim, especially a larger scrim, I'm using I'm going to say 2 foot by 3.5 foot scrim. If I was using a 6x6 scrim, this soft edge here would be much more pronounced, much more. Okay, so use the scrim that's right for you, but also know that as you vary in size, it's going to alter the image. That's what lighting is about. Okay, now in this one, we have now finally added a kicker board over here, fill board, and that's being reflected back into the glass, but it's not far enough back. The kicker board is not far enough back. Right now it's even with the scrim. So the scrim's 2.5 feet, board's about 2 feet, and they're right across from each other. Let's look at what I'm talking about here. You see the glass extends beyond the board. You see that? The bottle goes beyond the board. So we're not lighting the whole bottle. Look how constricted it is in here. The bottle's over here. But the board is so far forward for the curve of the bottle to pick it up that it's picking it up in the middle of the bottle, and we're not getting the edge. That's vital. So what do we do? Well, we have to move it back, farther back, until we get it here where it is lighting the edge of the bottle. The bottle goes all the way around and is lighter right there on that edge. Do you see that? Do you see the difference? Bottle lit. See, it's very, very important. When you're doing this kind of work, it's very, very important that we do it correctly. If you're going to do something, anything, do it the best you can. Do it correctly. Nail it. Okay? So, all right. So we've got it back to where it needs to be. Now, as you saw in the other, in the diagram, we put another fill board right to the right of camera. Just to the right of camera, coming in, leaving a room for camera, but coming in from that sideboard, and that adds this to it. The board that I added is touching the other board, so there's no seam here. It's touching it. Two white boards, one going that way, one going this way. We'll show you that in just coming up, but I want you to see how clean that makes this bottle. This board here, it's an option. You could stay with this if you want. Depends on the bottle that you're shooting, right? Depends on the label, because we're not even getting into labels now. We're going to do labels a little bit later on. Right now, we're just getting into bottles because we're talking about reflected light, okay? This isn't really a class on bottles. It's a class on how light is reflected. Notice that this black bottle is reflecting cards, reflecting our scrim. All the reflecting is going on here in the shiny object. I'm going to spray paint the bottle matte black and show you the difference in another video. I got a couple of things to add to this, but this is really, really important. I hope you can see the difference of moving that back. So let's look at our set real quick. That's the set. It's just a little set that I built out in the garage real quick. And here's my plexi. This is a flag blocking the light, which is over here. By the way, it's right out of camera, blocking the light from hitting that black card. I didn't want any light on the black card. It's got texture to it. It's not a shiny black card. It's a textured black card. So if light hits it from the side, it's going to pick up that texture. It's not going to be a black card anymore. Okay. Also notice that when we're high shooting down, the scrim doesn't light the whole bottle. That's a problem. If we're gonna shoot at an angle like this, we better figure out how to get our scrim in the right position that it lights the whole bottle all the way down. We don't get this with this little curved bottom of it. That's stupid and ugly. And same with the back. It doesn't work. Did you also notice, by the way, that I have the bottle at the back of my set? I'll show you why in just a quick second here. Kind of showing you where the card is and showing you that the card doesn't go all the way down. So what do we need to do? We need to lengthen that card, don't we? See, this bottle, as it goes around the corner, reflects what's over here. And what's over here is nothing. So there's nothing being reflected. That's the card. We have to bring that card down. We may have to cut that card. Thank God for cheap foam core. Whether you get it at Target, the dollar store, doesn't really matter. Thank God for cheap foam core, because you're going to find yourself cutting it, shaping it all the time to get what it is that you want. All right? And the last one is I went ahead and brought this thing up close so you can see why I had it to the back. The closer you bring it to the camera from the back, the higher that edge, that horizon comes up. And now we have all this space. What is all this space doing here? I don't know. I didn't want to shoot all this crap. This is just a piece of marble tile. I don't need marble tile crap. I need the bottle, which is there. Now, if I came up and cropped it even there, I would have a very small surface for it to sit on. If you're going to show me a lot of surface like this one, have a reason. You got shrimp on it, a couple of glasses back there. If there's a reason for it, do it. If there's not a reason for it, be deliberate. Make the shot work for you. So this is simply one light, two cards, and me. See you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed it.